So fusion summoning from the hand is called hand fusion. Bullshit! Cue title scene. So, after making constellars and showing how meta they are, could Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 keep the trend going and make Gem Knights seem as awesome as they could? Especially an episode that would be focusing on the girl who, weirdly enough, the only real story arc is going based on? Fuck yeah, they could! This duel was excellent to watch. It was only an FTK, essentially, but it was so perfect. I went over it in my head after the duel. That's what Gem Knights do. Just get out Master Diamond, use Topaz, take all this out, this and that, this and that. The duel worked perfectly. It was awesome. And most importantly, it was haunting. I love the fact that all this is going on with Yuzu for two reasons. A, this is all one afternoon that all this is happening in, so it kind of makes sense that it would take her a couple hours to sort all this out in her head. Plus, I love the idea that it is going on in her head, and it does affect the way she plays. That was so great when she thought there was the action card and it was reflected in her. This is using action duels to the show's advantage, something that hasn't happened up until now. The thing about the action duels is they're just kind of cheap and convenient. They make it real easy for a character to make a last-minute save. They make it real easy to just throw in some cutesy-wootsy animation for the kid audience. But to actually use the elements of it to strike in bigger points and move your character's arc forward, that is the perfect use of a story element. Something that, at the end of the day, everything this game has to offer for this show is. And I thought that was really cool. Master Diamond is awesome. Now I want to give Gem Knights a try. But things continued from there. I love seeing X-Sabers get to be in this. I love seeing them go meta. That's always fun to watch. But personally, the true thing that this episode proves is Yuzu is the best character in this. I hate to say it. I mean, I was knocking the character left and right 2 or 3 videos ago. But the thing is that she's the only one going through an arc. She's the only one going through story changes. The only one who we're really seeing what's going on in her head. And as it develops and progresses, everything a character needs to do. Yuya's not doing these things. He's just kind of watching and plodding along and dueling, which, yeah, is okay at this point in the story. But if this continues, it's going to make him a really weak character. Granted, he kind of already is one. And it's so interesting to see, and it really had me thinking. A lot of people compare Yuzu to Sakura from Naruto. Why? Because, well, they both have pink hair, and because they both have a tendency of whacking the main character in the head. Except the difference is that where Sakura is a rude, mean bitch, and let's also be real here, she's not essential to the Naruto story. I love Naruto, I really do, but at the end of the day, if you had to ask me who could get cut, I'm gonna go with Sakura. She was useful for like 5 minutes. She's never really done much of anything. She's just sort of there to work in a little bit of a love triangle, either between Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, or between Naruto and Hinata and Sakura. And for the most part, she's just sort of rude. She's just there for a one-liner. She just gets on my nerves. The difference with Yuzu is, A, Yuzu's a little bit younger than Sakura, if you look things from Shippuden's perspective. And the thing is that when you have the younger character, you can sort of forgive it a bit more. And because it is developing, because we haven't seen it during this whole thing. There's only one joke in this whole episode. It was that slapstick gag between Yuzu pushing Yugioh, which honestly I thought was kind of cute. That is sort of what you can do with this advantage. That's why the sort of romance kind of crush thing worked in Zale. They didn't try to make it anything more than what it is, and I thought that was a nice little joke. That was a great little gag. I really don't like this Kamazura, or whatever his name is. Honestly, it's a little creepy, the best friend being a grown man to a 14-year-old boy. I mean, yeah, it looks innocent, and it's harmless enough. I know it is. But realistically, look at it in these terms. What happens when a grown man befriends a little boy who is constantly trying to grab the little boy, calling himself the man, going for the little boy whenever, screaming at his face as the boy tries to live up to the expectations set before him. This summer, check out Giant Guy, kid whose hair who looks like Christmas jizz in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Okay, I know that's silly, but still, I hope this guy gets thrown out. I hope they do give Yuya more of a personality, and overall, I really like Yuzu. I love the duels we got in this episode. I love that all the cards so far are being played very meta. I I think that's very good. This episode was great, and I'm sure next week's will continue. And what do you think is great? In the comments section below, tell me your thoughts about this episode, anything Yu-Gi-Oh related, any decks you want to see show, who you think is better, Yuzu, or any other anime characters who you think are better than this show or not. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe, because if you think I'm being critical of Yu-Gi-Oh, just wait till Madoka Magica.